Alrighty, Mr. Scoot, let's take a look at what you've come up with here. Go with Motu Paina and hope that I got that right. Um, Everything default. We'll do our customary back tease pin 3. Set the wind on medium. We'll leave everything else default, and let's dive in. All right. So I saw in your notes we've got, we're an island, resort style course. So first thing that goes in my head is expect, plenty of width tee to green, which that does appear to be the case. And some fun kind of natural waste areas here. Let's see, what did you do for the clubhouse? I'm not a big clubhouse builder myself, but I'm always intrigued to see what others come up with. It reminds me of something we've seen from Manatee. Can't quite put my finger on it, but that's... Ooh, we're flying in close to the sun. Oh, looks cool. It's a good look of like an older kind of, older hotel. Oh, I even snuck the pool up on top. Nice touch. Yeah, fits well into the vibe of the story here. All right, so let's see. What was our... We'll do a little bit more technical looking early on, and then kind of get more into playabilities throughout the round. I'll start you here on this bunker. Our sculpting's not bad. I mean, we're a little uneven with some, a little hump and bump through here. I think playability will be just fine. Me personally, if we've got jagged edges on one side, I would typically, because this will be our entry point, I would make this kind of a smoother line. My personal preference when I use jagged bunkers alongside fairways. Like when I get up by greens, I'm okay if we go in and do something like this. And you can make a case if you kind of have like a smooth line, and then it can jag down, and then kind of a smooth line there. But I'm okay with those typically, being more frayed, but just when they run along the sides of fairways, it'll play more consistently. Something like this bunker, especially because we have a smooth curve here, and then we have a jagged edge against it, so it makes it stick out to me. They don't sync up well. Fairway goes right to left. Cool. Tree framing here is really good off the first tee. The trees on both sides give the perception that they narrow up to focus my eyes down where we're going. All right, let's dive in. .68. There we go. And we're off. That's the second hole we've got. Does that run back? Okay. Just looking at our contouring here to make sure it makes sense. I'll give you some thoughts on those tee boxes here in a sec. Visually, I'm definitely screwing you up because I'm a lefty here. I would probably like to see this tee box sit up just a little bit relative. I mean, we've got, even if it was like over here, or just actually just carry that over, yeah, because when we've got planting there, we wouldn't. You could have it framed like this if that planting wasn't there, and bring the planting in here. It would give it a better look. When we're down here, we're even with we'll get annoying golfer guy out of the way here. We don't get quite, I think, the framing you wanted for. We're not far off, but we're close. So, oh, forgot to turn golfer guy back on. Alrighty, let's see what we get in here. 9 down. We're just going to go right at it and see if this will stick. That's a pretty, I mean, at least we have a short club in our hands. That's going to be a tough pin to stick on. With that downslope into the wind. Yeah, very cool. So I was going to say on the tee boxes here, it's always tough whenever you have something like that that's cut out where we're cutting them out onto the edge of the land. All things being equal, I would probably have, because now I could just see like here where you stabbed a brush into it. I would extend, kind of match the land through here a little more consistently so we don't have these just jets down where you took a flattened brush and hammered it into it. So our cliffside planning is intriguing here, especially given what I was seeing the other direction. I'm not going to be this slow and technical the entire time. I'll just give you some thoughts early. Like, yeah, where I saw these like grasses built in here, so that looks very complete. What I look at here, it looks very incomplete. And we're going to get tight on room here, aren't we? Yeah. Stop. Good. Oh, that was a poor putt. And I'll nitpick you on the planting. Don't let stuff get like that up against the surface there. Especially when we've got, what is otherwise clean mown grass all around here. Then keep the planting off to where the grass doesn't look maintained. Also, your tee box is probably pretty big. Yeah, it's a pretty big tee box for just having one set of tees on it. These are all, like I said, I'm going to give you a lot more nitpicky thoughts, and then I'll early on technical things that pop up. Yeah, like our bunkers here, give them a little bit of room to breathe. There's no way to maintain, we'll sound like Jerry here for a second, but you're not going to be able to maintain grass that thin right there, that cleanly. But back your bunkers off, this kind of width so you could actually come through and maintain the grass around it. If that's your intent is to have grass through there, yeah, same thing on that. These fairway ones are getting really tight. Oh, that's slow. Oh, perfect. Thanks, pro. That would have been a 250-yard wipe on master. Okay, let's see if this will get up there. It's my lie. It's going left, yeah. Oh, it did. It did get up there. I'll give another little nitpick. The planning around the clubhouse looks a bit off. Like I said, I'm not a big clubhouse guy, but I just don't think we would see really thick, kind of scrubby looking grass wrapped around the resort like that. I think you'd probably see like, little brick walls and mulched beds and things. Or some kind of just little fence line or wooden, marking line. Let's do the Amiobi check before he does, because yep, he's going to try to bang it into your clubhouse when he plays it later today. And if he doesn't, I'll be disappointed. In fact, I'll send him a note on Discord to make sure he gives it a go. Right now. Dear Wayne. Dear Wayne, Scoot left his clubhouse in bounds, so make sure you play it. You check it out today on today's stream. I'm recording a playthrough for him while sending you this message. Okay, let's see. We're good here, 400 yards. So we're going to do a lion's mouth bunker. We actually need to have we don't have to have a lion's mouth hole, I guess I shouldn't say, but just the way it frames, because everything points to that bunker, this makes me want to think it's a lion's mouth. But in this case, the hole's not a lion's mouth, so maybe ditch that bunker. And have let this bunker creep up to here and then have that big runoff there. I love this runoff over here. The green's not running. Yeah. Also, I'm looking at pinnable areas on your default green speeds. I mean, we're getting pretty tight here, aren't we? Let's take a look. I mean, I hope the pins aren't just 1, 2, 1, 2, because if they are, then we just got all this wasted area. But I don't know if you have enough room. Like, yeah, we can go you could have a pin here. It doesn't really fit with what I've seen elsewhere in the course so far, to have one there, or to have one, let's count. 1, 2, 3, it'd have to be this box right here. I think it'd be a little overly harsh, and it doesn't fit. The greens have been calmer so far, so to all of a sudden give me a really big mean green is a bit off if we have front pins there, in my opinion. Some minor things on my sculpting. Just, use that fuzzy brush when you finish things up and just clean these like little sinkholes like that up. Spin, but stay up there. Good gap. Won't zip me off the back. All right, I think we've touched on most of the technical things at this point, so let's hammer through and talk playthrough. Or just playability on the rest of the course here. Our fairways have mostly been pretty level. You have a lot of good, just subtle land movement throughout. So, look into using on page 3. There's a sculpting brush, one that looks like a bunch of little pimples, and go in and make those pimples really, really big, like twice the width of this fairway, even maybe. Make the brush it's like this big right here. It's 50 yards wide, and just go through and do like 3 and 4. Spin it around, hold the button down at like 3 inches up, 4 inches up, and just kind of give it a pass across the fairway and see what it does. And then come through and do like -2 or -4 and run it back the opposite direction, or even strike just one pass. If you take that brush and you try to paint with it, you will just create all these tiny little nubs. But just like one little pass, I'll just kind of put some humps and bumps in here a little bit along the way. I have a reply from Wayne. Dear Forrest, thank you for your letter regarding Scoot's Clubhouse. I shall endeavor to explore it in the fullest way possible during my stream. Sincerely, Wayne. So, your clubhouse shall be taken care of today. That bunker's too... This bunker here has good depth. That one by the green is a bit shallow. So, let's look at our hole. Do we have... Yeah, and so we're a bit point and shoot right now. I know this isn't CC contest, but granted I'm judging those right now. But that's the vibe I'm getting going through here. This would be a good CC contest course. And yeah. Yeah, that frames well. You could pop that green up a little bit just to, instead of actually having to deepen the bunker. Something you can do here that doesn't require a lot of technical work. But you can see like a green sinks down in a bit right here. Have the green at this height right here instead of it where it's at, or even like this height. And that will make this bunker look deeper without you actually going to sink it, just because we're going to bring that top lip up. And it would still funnel down onto the green, but give you just a bit better of a... It would also frame it a bit better from the on the approach shot. One of the things that's just crossing my mind right now, I was talking about tee boxes. and where you can just you can tell like where boxes where you took square, flat, and brush, ding, 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 make them. We've all been there. My criminally underrated course, Revival Club. If you go take a look, you can see where I used round brushes, especially like behind like the fourth green, behind the fifth green, behind the first green, you'll see them. Behind the 8th, 11th, that's a double green, you'll see some. Then it's one of those, you only know what you know, and that was my second course, just like this is for you. If you go look at, the alt course, what a Paradiso de Vaca, or the cow club that I did, I went through and cleaned those up after Kenyon pointed it out to me when he played through my course. Like, hey, I could tell, this doesn't look natural. Nobody's going to come in here with a circle and, create a big flat spot. All right. So I'll be intrigued as to why you built a Fazio bunker here. To me, a Fazio bunker is one that hangs out in the rough. It's not in play, and it just costs the club $10,000 to maintain every year. I get the idea. Like, yes, it gives me something to challenge if I'm playing back here, but I've already got, the worry of going in the water left, going in the ocean long. So hell, why not just take the canyon and just cut that canyon to like right here? It's actually kind of a cool thing with the, especially like, let's say this green's a little fatter here, and the green almost, looks like it just rounds up into this little point of land that we have here to stick the back of the green on. Kind of a cool look. And it also, as we can see, it doesn't frame from the fairway. So we can get rid of that bunker, do something better with it. Oh, I'm gonna airmail this green. I'm not green the flag. Stay. Ooh, almost flew it in. Never mind. Ah. Okay, if we're gonna build a green this big for this short, it's really got to be mean. Because like I've got this much room to pitch into. I'm just playing pitch shots into all these pins. That's the tough thing when you get under like 100 yards. I mean, I know everybody's bags are different. I just happen to be one that I carry a 97-yard lob wedge. So instead of me hitting a knockdown lob, I'm going to play a pitch. Gap pitches with spin all day, or even a pitching wedge pitch. You can do one of these. I'm not trying to toot my own horn when I say I did it, but on 16 at Revival is a short par 3 I did. And when Kinetic was there, that was the 3 of the pins play like 97 to 101 yards, and they played over par every day. The one pin played right at level par, and it's the back right pin. It's like 120 yards. And that green, I think, is about as mean of a green as I've built across the entire complex, across the entire thing for that short of a shot. Also, when we have something this big, the waypoints start to get us. So I'm guessing you set a fairway waypoint here, and then the green waypoint right next to it. Typically, with my par 3s, what I do with my waypoints, I'll come into, let's say, the middle of the green. Typically, I'll drive my fairway waypoint here, then I put the green just right there behind it. Even if I, move pin 1 over here or here, wherever it goes, just put them together, because if you come in and have like fairway waypoint here and then green waypoint over here, what does the card say this hole is? Let's see. Let's see what the scorecard shows for this hole. Yeah, that's what you did, because you see how it gives me 99 yards. I'm guessing almost for certain you've got space between your waypoints, where it's like here and drug to there. And so when it has that kind of turn in it, then the game does something like this, where it sets me up on the tee and it aims me 30 yards right, instead of aiming me over here at the flag. So with that wind in, we are just going to hit a stock lob wedge. And we'll get what we get. Whee! Oh, that would have been a fun one. Well, my pre-shot routine is toast. If you want to stand behind your ball a few yards and line it up with where we're going, that's not an option on this tee box. I do like this. This is a good use of a centerline bunker in that I can play the more direct route up the wider fairway. Gives me a shorter shot, or I can come over here for a better angle in. The issue you get into here, I mean, granted it put me downwind, so that exacerbates the issue, but let's just see. So my tee shot's going to finish playing up the right side here, and I'm downwind. I'm going to have just a full lob wedge in. If I go over here, it's not adding that much more to it. I'm going to have a full sand wedge in. So really, I don't. That's even with the back right pin. The other pins are going to be under 100 yards if I play up the big side. So the strategy is there. The whole length just doesn't move my needle because I can stick the landing on any of these shots. So I'm just going to, especially with the wind going right, a little bit right, I'm just going to play to the fat fairway. And then take my, 105. And I got the little kicker there. I'll give it a hair down, no backspin, and just stick it. And that should be pretty good. Kick stop. Yeah. Oh, man, off the tee, this almost looks like it was like a drivable four before I looked at the scorecard. So this could be a fun hole for, like, this kind of length is where I'd like to use a centerline bunker, like 450 and up on par fours. Something else to be mindful of with your course is with your pin sets. So we've had back right on 8, back right on 9, and now we're back on 10, which I'm guessing our pins are probably 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not back right, but it's another back pin. Mix those up as we go. I'm just going to go back and check a hole. Well, let's just do replay. That'll be easier than me trying to find a hole on your golf course. Change hole. Let's see. Where are we going here? Oh yeah, that's the one with the back bunker. So yeah, that pin was front right. Okay, so it's just the last 3 holes we've had. Back, back, back. This is one where you could use a centerline hazard like right here and almost ditch this. Yeah, actually, I would take this fairway and go like have a centerline hazard here. Like you could have this fairway. I mean, the gold standard is what's the hole on? Is it like 16 or 17 at Lost Preserve? Does this so well, and it's a menace of a golf hole that I've yet to ever feel comfortable on. But the fairway, and you have like just the right fairway because it kind of has a little dip right here. So it's like that centerline bunker. I would set it right here. Have it come back and start it. Yeah, right there, 284. Run it to 300, and then make sure we leave like 12 to 15 yards here, because this area right here, my perfect angle off this green is going to be, I want it to be 5 yards out of bounds, or 5 yards over the cliff. It's like right there at, I got to go back and check things again. Yeah, my perfect angle is going to be something like right here. That's the absolute best angle. So I can't get there, but I want to get as close to it as I can. And so by getting rid of this and, putting in the centerline hazard here, give me all this fairway up here. Sure, you want to bail out. That's fine. Go ahead and bail out. But now I've got the approach to, to any of the pins. Yeah, I'm going to have to hit my approach over, from here. I'm now going to have this approach of, 160-ish. Yeah, I'm in here. Was that right? Where's 296 get me? Okay, in the middle of that. Yeah, see, now I'm going to have this 190-yard approach over the bunkers. but the back pin, front pin's still going to be 165. Whereas I come up here, I'm going to shave off 30 yards by going left. And I get rewarded with the better angle. Whereas it stands right now, yes, I'm rewarded to be there, but, I'm going to take this. The fairway's going to kick me left. We're just going to play there and hit smash one. Oh, and I read fast. I don't do that on here very often. So now we're going to have the 190 in anyways. Good job breaking that down and how you're going to defeat it, Forrest. Also, you don't need to have that much rough behind it. Scare the hell out of me. Run that drop off to like right here even, and do the fun thing of, build the gratuitous fence. Where are we going next? We're going right there. Yeah, you could do some real fun here and like shave that coastline like right here, weave it up through here, break it back out, and then do the very unnecessary bridge. Just build a bridge that just walks you right over the cliff instead of coming back here. Build a bridge that goes here and turns you back into your tee box just because you can. More just a silly thought, but yeah. But seriously though, I would clean that cliff edge, bring it right up. So if I do that like I just did, where I hit it long, I'm terrified. I'm like praying for my ball to stop, especially as the green gets firm. Oh, this is a good look. Our looks are getting really good now. Good, we got away from back pins. If we had 4 in a row, I was gonna get you. Here's another one. I know we're not to the approach yet, but raise that green up a little bit. You don't more than sink the bunkers, raise the green up a little bit. It'll just frame things better. But yeah, this frame's well off the tee because I want to lay back into here. I mean, I could. I wouldn't want that long of an approach. I'll just take the carry over the bunker. Same kind of stuff we talked about earlier. Shadows hide this. Like my Parkland course is struggling with this right now. Where you get long shadows and you miss things like this. But, it's a good check to do on your course at the end. Like when you're about ready to publish and you're kind of going through checking like, are my green speeds right? My tee box is level, unintentional blindness stuff. Take your inclination, just write down what it's supposed to be, turn it up higher. So you could see areas like this that just are wonky. Like it doesn't affect the play per se, but it's just, you wouldn't have left the land with like a big hump right here. That's not really a kicker slope because it's, nobody's playing the drive to 260 unless we're into a 20-mile-an-hour wind. So just a food for thought. But yeah, see, we get this really flat line approach that you wouldn't want to do it. In my opinion, I wouldn't do an infinity green like this. I don't know. I mean, that drive ran out so far. I guess it's okay. Yeah, if I'm this close, the green doesn't have to be perched up. I didn't think I was going to get 50 yards of bounce and roll. So again, I'll shut up and just play the golf. It's probably heading towards my longest playthrough video ever, with all the talking I'm doing, but as much as anything, I just wanted to get you a good bit of feedback, because obviously it's something tough to do with non-contest courses. I've seen this a couple of times. Here's a good spot to point it out. Given that we're saying it's a resort course, we expect things to be fairly polished at least. So come through with a little use a heavy rough brush. There's one, I think it's like in the middle of page 1. It's kind of an awkward little eggy oval. I just take that and I make it really small and just spin it around and just kind of run it along the edges. So you can have that, be dead right there, but just have rough extend out. It's also a good thing if we're not using you've used a rough secondary surface there. You can also do it with your fairways and just go to a heavy rough second surface, so the light rough will always create that clean line. Heavy rough, when you use it as a secondary surface, will bleed a bit based on the contours and kind of look unfinished and a little ragged. That's how I did Playa Polar. I didn't do a second surface on my fairway. I just go through with that heavy rough brush and paint it in along the edges. Now intentionally did choose to leave a lot of spots barren just because of the story of building a course in one of the poorest countries in the world. And we need to maintain our fairways and our greens and our tees, and outside of that, we're not maintaining it. So, well, it's the exception to what I'm just saying. Just a thought for it. We're going for the Core Crenshaw here, aka the Ben, aka the 18 at Strathmore. There are worse holes to imitate. Yeah, but say we don't get to call it a cape, do we? No. We only have water on. I mean, I guess you could make the argument the water's on 3 sides of the green. I think of it as more of a CNC though, because all the benefit here is coming as far up the left as I can get. So because of the wind, we're going to go there. And this fast tempo we've now developed. So that's a good frame. That green sits up at a good height. It doesn't look super unnatural. And now stop. I probably would have taken this. This is also like, yeah, using that heavy rough brush around the edges, you see, it'll just make sense because especially when you have that light rough, because light rough is just it creates a sharp edge against everything it touches. Now you're leaning into the coastline. A bit odd that we don't have, and I touched on it earlier, like the coastal planting. There's there's nothing on this one on one side. Then we have some giant bushes in there. A little bit of the grass got mixed in. Stick. Oh, slow down, slow down. That yellow slope is taking me bye-bye. Which I guess to that vein, I could say you could justify moving your pin about a yard off of it. Then any putt that goes 3 feet by is going probably at least 10. I hit my speed I was going for. Going long, skinny for, okay. Sheesh, what is my tempo doing? Not good, but not good, Bob, not good. Just gonna assume it's my crappy cable that keeps popping out of my controller, as you've seen. And my crappy chip. That's 15 yards. I should just play the spinny pitch. Oh, let's try it again. Now we can do our spinny pitch. That's the higher risk with that slope. It's interesting to give me back-to-back holes with no bunkers off the tee. So this is more what I talked about, like, yeah, put that edge up against her that terrifies me. Now Yeah, the rough on this side is what saved me. So yeah, that light rough, that's where that light rough trim kind of bites you in the butt. I mean, unfinished rough might stick too, but oh, I didn't hit that hard enough. Barely got it up there. That'll be low. Oh, caught the edge. I like this green. This is probably my favorite hole visually. There's a part of me that like I'm having to stop and think now where I want to be. So into the wind, that kind of cover's going to be, I can make it. Should be able to get me the pitch in. Over here is fine. What's my distance? Yeah, I'd have a lob wedge sandwich in with those slopes feeding me at my ball. A light bulb green. Or again, in the end of the wind actually gets tricky again because of I've got to carry 242 there. So really I end up playing here if I don't just go driver up the gut. Still fast. Man, I'm really light on my swing too. Should be good. Oh, deep. Yeah, I mean, there's sculpting on the coastline there. It just comes with time. Continue to work on it and make those brushes on the right side towards the bottom of page 3. Those last couple columns, those are great brushes to use in little 1 to 3 foot increments to really get coastlines in good shape, um, in a way that they look natural. Or like these tee boxes over here don't make any sense at all. Why they're built up like that. And unfortunately, like they kind of just catch your eye every time you're going in of like, why is there a lump there? And I'm gonna nitpick on one of the things. So how are we actually getting to this green? So we walk out here. This, we have a long shot. And now I go where? I guess trek through this, get cut up, climb up to this tee box, and get back around. I'm guessing that's my path. Um, just something to be mindful of. If we're going to have that shot, give me a way to actually get there. And we're stuck hitting everything fast. One on there. Oh, it's just the brown. Okay. Thought the bunker had like wood on it or something. Right. Yeah, overall, good job, Scoot. There's a lot of a lot of things that I like here. Some of the holes, especially in the back nine, like I think it was 13, 14, 16, were really solid holes that did a good job asking, making me stop and think. So it wasn't just, aim in the middle of the fairway, hit the ball, aim at the green, aim at the flag, hit the shot every time. Um, continue to mix a few more of those holes in, irrespective of what difficulty level you're going for. You can ask questions in different ways at different levels of we can ask questions of players even if we're trying to build an easier resort style course. Ask, we use fairway runoffs around greens and things that don't punish as bad, but we use those to play with approach shots, or just do simple things of, hey, if you want to play with the fatter side of the fairway or the straight line off the fairway or play away from the hazard, then your approach shot may need to go over bunkers. But if you want to take, you take a more aggressive line off the tee, you can have a cleaner approach shot that doesn't have to carry a hazard on the way in. So yeah, I would just say look to incorporate that in a few more holes and continue to work on the technical things I pointed out for you, and look forward to seeing what you come up with the next, bud. Good job.